Turbidity sensor maintenance and calibration. The Hydrolab self-cleaning turbidity sensor measures the intensity of light scattered by particles in the water sample at 90 degrees from an infrared light source and reports that value in NTUs. In order to take an accurate measurement of the scattered light, the sensor requires an unobstructed view of the water extending approximately 1 inch from the end of the sensor. To keep the optics clean, there is a motorized wiper that can be set to wipe from 0 to 5 times before taking a measurement, depending on the degree of sensor fouling expected. The HL7 also features an extended brush for removing debris from the other sensors. Maintenance.
Keeping the equipment up to date with the most recent firmware is important to ensure proper function of the equipment. Update notices will occur when the Hydrolab operating software, also referred to as HOS, is connected to the internet. When a sonde is connected and updates are available, it is recommended to proceed with all updates. The sonde's updates can be confirmed by selecting the Update Firmware button in the Settings menu.
The self-cleaning turbidity sensor is almost completely maintenance-free. When the cleaning wiper becomes fouled, simply replace it using the hex wrench provided in the brush and wiper maintenance kit. Do not rotate the wiper by hand or operate the wiper when the sensor is dry. Both of these actions can damage the gear assembly inside the motor. The cleaning wiper set screw should be tightened against the flat side of the shaft. The self-cleaning turbidity sensor uses scattered light to report the concentration of suspended particles in the water, so it is important to clean the instrument as thoroughly as possible prior to calibration. Use a soft brush and mild soap to remove dirt and debris from all of the sensors and the inside of the storage cup. Rinse the storage cup and sensors until they are free of soap and dirt, then dry with a lint-free towel or compressed air. Calibration. Important. The turbidity sensor requires a 2-point or a 4-point calibration. Make sure that the turbidity range of the standards includes the typical turbidity values expected from the deployment site. In preparation for calibration, very gently rotate the turbidity standard bottle end to end for 2 minutes. Do not shake. The Hydrolab turbidity sensor must use a formazine-based solution for calibration. The Hawk Stable Cal calibration standard is the preferred standard to use. Establish a connection to the sonde with the Hydrolab operating software. Select your HL series sonde from the Connect to Device list and click the Connect button to connect to the sonde. When the sonde finishes its initialization, click the Calibration button in the navigation bar, then click Turbidity in the Sensors list on the left-hand side. Click the Start Calibration button at the bottom to begin the turbidity sensor calibration. On-screen instructions are available on the right-hand side of the screen. Less than 0.1 NTU will be the first calibration point. Rinse all the sensors 3 times with deionized water by pouring a small amount of deionized water into the calibration cup, replacing the cap, and shaking vigorously for approximately 6 seconds. Fill the storage cup with deionized water or a 0.1 NTU standard. Turn the sonde to point sensors down. Verify the standard being used and click Next to proceed. The stabilization process will begin and must complete successfully before the calibration process proceeds to the second calibration point. Rinse all the sensors 3 times with deionized water by pouring a small amount of deionized water into the calibration cup, replacing the cap, and shaking vigorously for approximately 6 seconds. Dry the sensors and the inside of the calibration cup. Each calibration step will cause a clean cycle to be executed on the turbidity sensor to clear bubbles from the lenses. Fill the storage cup with the second calibration standard. Turn this on to point sensors down. Enter the turbidity standard being used into the standard text box. Click Next to proceed. The stabilization process will begin and must complete successfully before the calibration can be saved. To accept the calibration, select Save Calibration. The turbidity sensor is now calibrated.
Calibration check. After calibration, it is recommended to perform a calibration check to verify that the sensor slope is correct. You can access the calibration check in the Calibration tab of the HydroLab operating software. Follow the instructions on the right side of the screen. To perform a calibration check, you will need a standard with a value that was not used in calibration. Be sure to follow the same steps of rinsing the sensor in deionized water as well as rinsing with the selected standard for optimal results. When the calibration check is finished, you will see the measured value as well as the percentage of difference from the known standard value. The user can adjust the calibration interval or add a log note. When the desired settings have been changed, the user may choose to keep the calibration date, extend the calibration date, recalibrate now, or cancel the check. Your calibration check is now complete.